Am I actually improving? I did 2,000 races last month and only increased by 5 words per minute. Is this normal? This video is going to be definitely for you guys who are wondering why your words per minute is not increasing. I'm going to be doing an analysis of several players' accounts to see where they saw their words per minute increase and why that's important and how that applies to you, so make sure you watch till the very end. So what we're going to be looking at is the monthly race stats, and you can basically do this by scrolling down to the bottom of your stats page and clicking on monthly. Very easy to get here. The two main things that matter are the amount of races that you did in that month compared with the average words per minute of that month. And this is how we're going to be able to determine if you are properly improving. So let's get into our first example. This racer started out at only about 20 words per minute on Nitro Type, which is probably around where I started out and where lots of people start out too. He was active for a period of 6 months, and he saw steady increases. Then he goes into a period of being not active, and he only did 4 or 5 races in a period of 4 months. So I don't think that we should be counting those not active months, because he did a significantly less amount of races than he did during his first active years. So we're not going to be counting those months. It's not like his speed decreased, it's just he didn't do very many races. Then after taking that break and starting to get active again, he was doing 200, 300, 500, I think that one of those months was 600 races, starting to become active again, and you can see that curve going up. And now he's at 72 words per minute, which when you compare that to 20 words per minute to 72 words per minute, we can see that's a very steep incline. So the first thing that we can take away from this is that you don't have to be super active to increase your speed, because this person, Max, only did about 600 races in a month, and yet his speed is still increasing. Moreover, typing thousands of races month after month is not going to increase your speed. It's like doing a workout and not allowing your muscles to recover. We only need to look at examples like Wildflower to see that this is true. She's completed over 500,000 races on Nitro Type, and yet hasn't increased her speed at all. Let's take a look at another example. This racer started out at 15 words per minute, which is pretty slow on Nitro Type, doing 78 races one month, 168 races another month with 17 words per minute. Okay, then they have a period of inactivity during that time that you see no numbers over them. Then they start doing 257 races, and it increases to 20 words per minute. So still, we see a bit of a difference, and they've been typing for 6 months, but they've only increased by 5 words per minute. And what I suspect is happening here is they do not have proper technique. Then they start to grasp better technique for typing, and then they start doing about 500 races in a month, and you can see how that curve starts to increase into around 35 words per minute today, and he has around 1,000 races a months in there. So you can see that once you start racing more, that curve starts to increase. So if we contrast these two examples, we can see that the first racer didn't do very many races per month, but increased their speed to 80 words per minute. The second racer started doing lots of races, but didn't increase very much, only to 35 words per minute. And I believe that this lies in the number of races that they were doing a day. And many people ask this question, while speedy typing, how many races do I need to do a day to increase my speed? I would say that the magic number of races, it's between 15 races and 40 races a day, though this number totally depends on the individual typer. But I believe that doing between 15 and 40 races a day, you're almost guaranteed to see an increase in your typing speed if you have proper technique. But I don't think it's the races a day that are important. I think it's more the races a month, and I'm going to be getting into this later. But it only takes 16 races a day to reach 500 races a month. Now we're going to be taking a look at my stats. So at the start, when I started on Nitro Type and I had proper technique, I was very active at the start, doing 1,000 races a month, 700 races a month, started getting active, and then went into a period of not being active where I still saw small increases, but I was only doing a few races a month. And then I become very, very active, doing about 1,200 races for 3 months in that period there. And I did not increase my words per minute at all. Then I took one month break. I was doing on and off. Then I became active again. And that's, once I took my break and then became active again, that's where I saw my curve starting to increase, and now I'm at an all-time high average words per minute. So what we can take away from this is the best way to increase your speed is to take a break once in a while. When you start typing again, your speed will start increasing again. So why does this matter to you at all? How does analyzing these stats help you analyze your stats more to see if you are improving? I think there's a few things to take away from this. First of all, if you're doing 500 races a month, you can expect to see at least a 5 words per minute increase. And while analyzing these stats, I've seen up to 15 words per minute increases while doing just 500 races a month. So I believe that instead of doing between 15 and 40 races a day, that's not the magic number, it's just overall doing 500 races in a month, seems to be what gets people to improve. But I have only seen these improvements when someone has had proper technique when they're starting to race on Nitro Type and do those 500 races a month. So before you get into any of this to improve your speed, you have to have proper technique, or else you're not going to be increasing in your words per minute. Also, alternating between being quite active and inactive is also seen to increase your speed. But if you're alternating between 2,000 races a month and 0 races a month, then that's not going to increase your speed very much. You have to still have that kind of contrast that is not too extreme. So like 1,000 races a month and maybe 200 races a month is better than 2,000 races a month and 0 races another month. And if looking at your stats page, you see no increase, you're at a flat line for 6 months, and you're wondering, why am I not improving? And I'm doing 1,000 races a month, how is this possible? I can guarantee you that if you have learned a proper technique from typing.com, 10 fast fingers, I don't care what website you used, if you've learned a proper technique, doing 15 races a day minimum is almost guaranteed to increase your speed unless you're like maxed out at 180 words per minute. So if you're not improving, you're either 1, not using proper technique, or 2, you're doing an insane amount of races, you're not balancing that out with breaks, and there's no way for that muscle memory, that memory of typing with your fingers to actually set in. So remember, take breaks and learn proper technique, and then you're going to be fine, and your words per minute is going to be increasing like crazy from there. Hit the subscribe button right now. I put so much hard work into all these videos to make sure that you guys can get the best experience that you can on Nitro Type and improve your typing speed. So go and subscribe right now.